What happened in the previous chapter was the introduction of 3 elite schools in the magic world. These are Easton, St. Ars, and Waukis. Over the past 100 years, Easton has produced 11 Visionaries and St. Ars has produced 4, while Waukis has produced 85. It clearly shows a significant gap between the 3 schools. In the next scene, the host announced, saying in the letter he received, "We of St. Ars relinquish our seats to Waukis." Because of this, Domina accepted the offer from St. Ars, and 3 more students from Waukis appeared. Before long, the wounded Kingress managed to arrive there and explain that they were forced to give up their position. Domina's companion, Levis, became angry and immediately attacked Kingress. They also tried to isolate each other to gang upon them. When Domina's companions tried to gang up on Mash, Margaret, Abyss, and Abel, their allies arrived and protected Mash. They stated that they would assist Mash in the exam to ensure fairness. Domina accepted this and allowed them to do what they wanted. Suddenly, the host announced that they shouldn't make decisions on their own, so it was clarified what would happen. They would look with the Bureau at what action to take in this situation, and the tournament would move to the next day, to a different location. After that, Abel explained to Mash that the reason he was helping them was to return the favor that Mash had done for him. On Innocent Zero's base, it was revealed that Domina was one of Innocent Zero's children. In the end, she promised that she would fulfill her father's dream, while our protagonists were playing BS. What's up, Onii-Chans? Welcome back to our manga recap series about Mashle, Magic and Muscles, a story that combines elements of Harry Potter and One Punch Man. So, let's start the video. Continuing the exciting story of Mash in a world full of magic, we move to a suburb with a newspaper boy carrying hot news. Upon reading, the people there couldn't believe it. They saw the news that Easton Academy had nominated a non-magic user as a divine visionary candidate. In the next scene, our protagonist is shown with his friends still playing BS for the past 15 hours. Upon Abyss laying his cards and calling 5, both Dot and Mash shouted that it was a BS. Lance then asked them how long they planned to play. Dot answered him that their dignity was at stake in that card game, so this siscon shouldn't interfere. Because of that, Lance got angry. Suddenly, Mash and Abyss said that they were tired and didn't want to continue, which made Dot realize that he was the only one thinking like that. Finn quickly went there and told Mash that they had a problem, which made Mash turn around. They went to the window and had Mash look out. Upon peeking, he saw a huge crowd of people rallying, demanding that Mash be handed over to them, and they were angry that their candidate was magicless. They insisted that they couldn't admit a non-magic user into a top magic academy, and that Mash must be punished according to the law. They said it was a violation of sanctity for Easton to give someone with impure blood a chance in the holy feast of God. Because of the people's reaction, Finn was worried. Suddenly, Lemon appeared on the balcony and shouted, hoping the people would listen to her. Finn was surprised and wondered to himself what Lemon was doing. She stood up for Mash and explained that apart from being a non-magic user, what else has Mash done wrong? Did they need to judge people based on their magic skills? She didn't agree with that. The people disagreed and said that nonetheless, Mash couldn't use magic like them and was therefore forsaken by God. And who was Lemon to speak for Mash? The crowd asserted that outsiders should stay as outsiders. Lemon then explained that she was not an outsider, but Mash's wife. Because of this, the people were shocked. Mash then held his head because of what Lemon had done. Lemon then corrected herself, stating that she wasn't really his wife, rather his soulmate. They were connected by the red string of fate. She then asked if those crazy people had a problem. Because of this, the crowd thought Lemon was crazy. Suddenly, someone yelled out, which made the crowd curious. Dot emerged, wearing glasses, and claimed that he was Mash's agent. The crowd was shocked. Dot said that he would now read a statement they had prepared for Mash. The statement from Mash said, "I understand the concerns of magic users about my lack of experience as a nominee. So for that, I have something to say. Go to hell." Because of that, the crowd became even more angry with Mash. Mash facepalmed again, asking why they had to make the situation worse. While the crowd was getting angrier, Lemon and Dot were also getting mad, insisting that Mash did nothing wrong. Suddenly, someone in the crowd said that defending a person without magic meant they were accomplices. So these sinners should accept their punishment. He threw a stone at Lemon that hit her hand and caused bleeding. Dot became concerned at this. Mash tried to protect Lemon but was held back by Lance, who said that things would only get worse if he went out there, so he should just endure it for now. Lemon said she understood why the people were acting that way, so if they were going to punish Mash for being a non-magic user, they should also punish her. They could throw stones at her and insult her. At that moment, Lemon remembered the time when Mash helped her and how kind he was to her. She said the reason she was protecting Mash was because she believed that a good person will never become evil. Because of this, Mash was touched. Despite this, the man who had thrown the stone at her only mocked her, saying that that's not how the world works, and black magics have no rights. The man was thinking that if he could catch the non-magic user visionary candidate, he would become known. He insisted that Lemon was also a sinner who was corrupting their world, so they shouldn't show any mercy and should also catch her. Many people threw stones at Lemon, and when these were about to hit her, Mash couldn't just watch anymore and protected Lemon. The man pointed at him and said not to let him escape. The man quickly used the prison wall on Mash, which trapped him in a metal cylinder. The man laughed and said, "Did they see how he caught Mash like an idiot?" He explained that the barrier was 15 centimeters thick, capable of trapping even large magical beasts. As he was explaining this, Mash poked his finger through the man's magic, which startled him. Before long, he did this repeatedly to create a passage. The man was shocked and asked himself, wasn't that 15 centimeters thick, capable of trapping even large magical beasts? He was scared because Mash managed to break his 15 centimeters thick prison wall, which could trap even large magical beasts. Mash had escaped from the prison and immediately lifted it. He threw the prison at the man who made it, trapping him instead. The people there were speechless. Mash then spoke and explained that he knew that the way things were had been long established, and he understood that they probably felt they couldn't accept things that were different. But he said he would strive to reach the top of the magic world and prove that being magicless is also okay. The people there stared at him. Suddenly, someone teleported next to Mash. It turned out to be Wahlberg, who apologized to the people because it seemed they were surprised by his decision. However, he said the final exam and the bureau would determine how to deal with Mash. For now, he asked for their patience as the time was near. Because of this, the protesting people fell silent. Wahlberg also spoke to Mash and explained that in life, finding even one person who will stand up for him is a rare occurrence. So he said he had very good friends and he was proud of them. Mash explained that he had gained a lot from that school, so he assured that he would win this final battle. In Wahlberg's mind, if Mash failed, the people who supported him would be charged with helping him. Only success was the path to acceptance of him. In the next scene, in a remote place, there was a cloaked man who seemed to be absorbing the life force of another man. Agito, Tyrone, and Renatsu Revel came upon this, and Revel asked the man what he was doing. They heard rumors that the streets were not safe because of a madman who suddenly started hurting people. The criminal was too strong for the guards, so they were sent there. The man smiled at that and immediately tried to escape. The man seemed to be Domina because the mark on his face was the same as Domina's. Agito immediately used his dragon and commanded it to attack the man in order to catch him. Revel did the same, sending his giant hand forward. While the two kept attacking, the man easily dodged their attacks. They briefly halted their barrage of attacks. Revel thought that a normal magic user would have died 3 times already from their attacks, but the man did not even have a scratch, so he realized they were dealing with an outlier. In the man's mind, he thought that fighting against 2 divine visionaries was problematic. Revel remarked that his clothes didn't even get torn, which meant that the man was using his magic as a cushion. So, he realized that the man could withstand his attacks because of his strong magic power. Revel told the man that because he didn't immediately start attacking, it suggested that he couldn't manage both offense and defense at the same time. The man thought to himself that he was impressed with Revel, who had already figured out his magic after just one encounter. If it were one-on-one, he said he wouldn't have a problem. But this 2-on-1 situation was a risk he needed to take. He released his magic and directed it to attack Revel and Agito. The two's body parts were heavily damaged due to the man's attack. Nevertheless, it turned out that they were just clones of the 2 visionaries. So the man was wondering when they were able to do that and thought that maybe they had used their earlier attacks as a decoy. The two immediately used their magic. Revel used the undeath sting while Agito used the dragon's trident. The man was irritated by their sneak attack and decided to charge at them. Revel was taken aback by this, so he used the undeath wall to ward off the man's attacks. The place was engulfed in smoke, and when it cleared, the man had already left. Revel was annoyed and said they should follow him. He wondered who that man was who could do such a dirty attack. Following this, it was explained that 15 years ago, a child was born into the world of magic. That child was Domina Blowlive. The magic power that this baby could produce was so strong to the point that it destroyed the structures around him. And the destroyed buildings were being reconstructed by another baby. That baby was Mash when he was only 5 months old. Mash and Domina were born in the same year. Domina was always exhibiting his power throughout the day. The physical manifestations of his magic could pulverize even walls made of stone. Adults would lose consciousness when they felt his overwhelming power, and everyone was terrified of this baby. The midwife was certain that this child would become a magic user with unexplainable strength. Meanwhile, Mash, who had no magic power, was engaged in carpentry all day. His skill in carpentry was admired by everyone. His DIY skills kept improving to the point where he could already build an entire cabinet. The midwife was certain that the baby would grow up to be a skilled carpenter. After that, it was explained that Domina deeply and wholeheartedly respected his father. His admiration for his father's power was naturally inherent in him. After his birth, he knew instantly. His life existed for that man. His power was for serving him. One night, he questioned himself. Why was the magic-lacking baby Mash receiving the same treatment as him? How did they become equal? So, like larger raptor chicks that attack their smaller siblings to steal the attention of their parents, Domina instinctively tried to kill Mash. Domina learned to control his magic to use against Mash. The midwife worried for Mash. However, baby Mash was able to dodge baby Domina's attacks. The midwife noticed that what Mash did was zigzagging inertial drift. It was explained here that when entering a curve at high speed, the driver executes a sharp turn by steering the front wheels without losing speed. The midwife was astounded that Mash could already perform a top-tier driving technique even at just 5 months old. When Domina saw that Mash was able to dodge using inertial drift, he instantly realized that, like him, Mash was on a different level too. A few weeks after that, Mash disappeared and Domina realized that as long as Mash was alive, he wouldn't get their father's full acknowledgement. Domina's aspirations became twisted, and the only thing that would satisfy him was the day when he could kill Mash. In the next scene, the day of the final exam arrived, and the new venue for it is the Grief Manor. Lavis then commented, congratulating them for not being scared even though they know they will lose. He noticed that it seemed like Mash and the others weren't listening to him and just kept focusing on carrying Mash and how it should be done. In the end, Finn was surprised that they didn't care about Lavis. And with that, this video ends. What do you think? Which team will win this final exam? Will Lavis get annoyed with them? Write your comments down below. If you want more anime and manga recaps, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on new videos.